G'day. G'day class. Today we're going to talk about project procurement management, which is a very worldwide, on all projects internationally, it's a very sensitive topic. Very sensitive for the simple reason it's all about procuring of goods and items and services. Goods and services for accomplishment of a given objective. Each and every project that are administered as a contract needs to go the procurement route. Now, procurement is about the acquisition of resources and companies and materials, etc., to satisfy the need of the project for implementation and for successful delivery of the product, the facility, and the service. There are a couple of things that come to play when we talk about procurement. As we said in the past, the project manager is very much also the contract manager. So when we talk procurement, we talk contracts, right? So these following questions come to play. One, when it comes to procurement, whether to procure. Should we procure? Should we not procure? Number two, what to procure? What must we procure? Are we procuring goods? Are we procuring services? Are we procuring scarce resources? Are we just procuring materials, etc.? Number three that comes to play is when to procure. When to procure. Now, why would a question like that come up? When to procure? It is very important. You wouldn't go and procure if the economy of your country is not in a good state, because you might not get good prices, etc. I'll explain that one further in detail later on. So when to procure is also very, very important. You would not procure when resources are scarce, etc. You would want to procure when resources are full and available, etc. Number four is how to procure. How to procure. How would you go about procuring? What are the necessary documentation for procurement? What do you need? Because procurement is all about legalities as well. You cover a lot of legal aspects. If you look at a tender document, which is linked to procurement, a tender document, it's a legal document, because you're going to ask for what? You're going to ask for price and services and deliverables. That is what you're going to ask for. And price is very, very important in today's world, as a lot of companies with a tough economy worldwide and all of that. We just had a recent recession and all of that, and it became very important as price being the major factor. However, it differs from company to company. Let us investigate on the slideshow what procurement and procurement management is all about. From the PMI process, Project Management Institute, procurement has got the following sequential processes. First of all, procurement planning. Obviously, you need to plan for procurement. You can't just go and procure. You must plan for it. And when you plan for procurement, you ask yourself the following questions: whether to procure, what to procure, when to procure, and how to procure. And then you also have to look at your procurement strategy. If I talk about the procurement strategy, I mean your contract strategy. Right. From your contract strategy, you have to look at the form and type of contract. which is extremely important based on the nature, the content and the complexity of the project at hand. Right. So procurement planning is all about that. Solicitation planning is what you need to plan there is to look at your sources, etc., and to find out how you're going to solicit this tender or this procurement item. If you solicit, are you going to go on open tender? Are you going to go on a closed tender? Are you going to go for a preferred supplier? Or are you going to go for a sole supplier? As we all know, a sole supplier is more of the only person or company who can deliver a specific product or service or outcome. Right. So you've got to plan that solicitation. In other words, your strategy. If you go open tender, you're going to have to go to the market and to the newspapers, which can be a very lengthy process. Then you do the solicitation based on that outcome, and then you will do your source selection. Now, if you say solicitation, you mean you now go out on tender. Now you will go out on tender based on your solicitation strategy or plan, and based on that, you will now go and evaluate your sources, and when you evaluate your sources, you will then select it based on certain criteria. Then, after the source has been selected, obviously you're going to have a contract. You will go into contract negotiations. You will negotiate the contract with price, etc., and certain terms and conditions and clauses that are built into the contract. Based on that, you will start doing contract administration. This is while execution is taking place. You administer your contract. Now, if you administer your contract, what do? You do payments, you measure progress against plan, and also you look at the progress of the building of your site, the building of your product, etc. You administer the contract. You pay, you don't pay, etc. That kind of thing. Then after contract administration, you will then do contract closeout. Right.